I'm Samuel, and I'm a regional technical specialist for Africa on SCALA program on the side of UNDP. And it's a pleasure today that I will be speaking to you on Uganda's approach they are taking in relation systems assessment to support the implementation of SCALA program.
I'm Joseph Mudiope. I'm the crop production specialist for FAO Uganda, and I'm also the FAO Technical Specialist for the SCALA program within Uganda.
What is the purpose of this assessment?
The purpose of the assessment is to generate climate risk-informed evidence in order to catalyze transformative climate action at the national level in Uganda's cattle corridor, as you have mentioned, through the translation of the 2021 NDC and the 2018 National Adaptation Plan for Agriculture into district-level development plans.
Would you kindly take us through the assessment areas and maybe highlight one or two questions, not for all, that you'll be focusing on during the assessment?
Thank you once again, Sam. In our assessment, we have 7 broad areas which comprise the state of natural and agricultural systems, the climate change impacts, vulnerabilities and risks, as well as greenhouse gas emissions. We also have climate change adaptation and mitigation, then gender and social inclusion, but also we have private sector engagement and investment, and then we have enabling environment. Main question is, what are the farming systems in the cattle corridor? And this will be including the current production practices and technologies used and how they are influenced by the social, economic, and environmental aspects.
So would you shed more light how this assessment will contribute to that? Will contribute to the enhanced understanding of transformation and implementation of NDC and NAP-AG in the cattle corridor?
The assessment is contributing to building the technical and functional capacities at individual and institutional levels while catalyzing an enabling environment. For example, the study will develop a systems-level assessment methodology, including refining and customizing the assessment tools which will be employed to assess and generate the evidence necessary to catalyze transformative actions, even in the geographical areas beyond the cattle corridor. And also, the evidence generated will be packaged and disseminated through workshops comprising various stakeholders, government, private sector, and others, and through knowledge products like policy briefs and success stories, among others, which will also be disseminated to a wider audience, and subsequently, this will increase awareness necessary for transformative action.
Which methodology and tools are you using or are you planning to use in undertaking this assessment?
The assessment is robust with robust methodology, and it will apply both secondary and primary data collection and analysis methods. The corridor has 5 farming systems major, and for each farming system, one district will be randomly sampled for assessment. But also in each district, 3 crops and cattle in a mixed system will be assessed. And we shall have other key tools, mainly those developed by FAO, like the SHARP tool, the EXACT tool, and then the Global Livestock Environment Assessment Model. We shall also have the FAO Resilience Index Measurement and Analysis tool, as well as the NDC Expert Support tool, and many other tools we're also looking at in this aspect.
How are you addressing the gender and social inclusion issues in this assessment?
Gender and social inclusion are key aspects, and these are being addressed right from the design of data collection tools through data collection and analysis to interpretation and report writing. At each of these stages, data disaggregation according to gender will be effected with the support of a gender specialist who will be on the core team. For instance, during the selection of the value chains, and as I've mentioned before, for assessment as well as for focus groups and key informants respondents, gender will be a key selection criteria.
Yes, Joseph, you mentioned that there will be a core team, a core assessment team, which will include the gender specialist. Would you also tell us who else is on the team and who will be supporting the assessment?
The assessment team will include a suitable consultancy firm, which will be supported by FAO and UNDP country teams, and this will also be further supported with the SCALA global team of backup stoppers. And the consultancy firm will comprise first 7 key experts. This will be the team leader, who could be like the climate change specialist on vulnerability, but we shall also have a climate change specialist on mitigation, then one on sustainable land management, and then the other one will be climate resilient agriculture or livestock production expert. And we shall also have a GIS and remote sensing specialist. I've already talked about the gender specialist, but we shall also need a socio-economist. So these are the key core specialists we shall be having on the team.
My final question would be, what are the expected results and how will they inform climate action in the country?
The assessment is expected to generate evidence for planning and implementation of transformative climate action in the Uganda cattle corridor. But specifically, it will generate evidence on mixed farming systems and livelihood typologies in the study area. It will also generate evidence on climate impacts, risks, and vulnerabilities, including, of course, gender analysis. Then prioritize the gender-responsive adaptation and mitigation options and innovative technology solutions, but also issues to do with private sector engagement and market analysis. And lastly, but also very important, strategies for addressing policy, institutional, and financial bottlenecks, including public-private sector de-risking instruments. Now, the results generated will inform climate action through a number of ways. One, it will support guiding local adaptation and mitigation activities, informing also the translation and implementation of the NDC and the agriculture NAP at the subnational level through gender responsive and climate resilience planning. Thank you so much, Sam.
Yeah, thanks to Joseph for sharing the approach for Uganda, and I hope other countries will pick insights highlighted.